Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are continuing our path to the Hipper and we are on tier number 4, which means we're on the Konigsberg. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. The game that I got for this was the very first game that I played in the Konigsberg since I played it the very first time that I've played it all the way back in the day. And I gotta say, it's probably the craziest match I've had in a long time. Easily the most ridiculous tier 4 match that I've had in a while. So, with that being said, let's get into our commander. We're using Karl von Mahler with Francesco Membelli and Nikolai Kuznetsov. We have Beyond Range, Igniter, Punch Through, and Fixated as our perks with the legendary perk Fully Packed. Now, we are using our upgrade this time, Aiming System Mod 1. We are also using, we are fully upgraded. We're using equipment, sorry. Aiming System Mod 1, and we are fully upgraded. For loadout, we have our amazing sonar with a detection of ships that's 5.1 kilometers, which is nice. We're going to get used to that in this one. We also have our 4 fighters, and we're not using any boosters, but we are running the Alpha Tester flag and the Type 2 camo for that incoming fire dispersion. For stats, 24,300 hit points with a 7% torpedo damage reduction. You have 150mm 60 caliber SKC-25s. You have 9 of those in a 1 turret at the front, 2 turrets at the back configuration. They fire out to 16.1 kilometers. Reload time in just 7.6 seconds, and 180-degree turn time is 30 seconds. Don't let that fool you. These almost never go 180 degrees because they are located in a 360-degree traverse position. So you always have the turrets where you need them when you need them. So don't worry about how slow they are. Generally speaking, you'll be okay. Alright, they fire HE with a maximum damage of 1700 with an 11% chance to set fires. They also have AP that does a maximum of 4212 damage. The secondaries, you still have 88mm 76 caliber DL or DOP-L C-32. Good Lord, Germans, help me a little bit. 6 of those firing out to 4.2 kilometers, reloading in 4 seconds, with a maximum HE shell damage of 1,000 and a 7% chance to set fires. Torpedoes, 533mm drillings. You have 12 of those, not 7, 12, 4 times 3, you big doof. So you have a triple launcher, or you have 2 triple launchers on either side of your ship. Okay? 68-second reload time on those torps. They still only fire out to 6 kilometers. They do a maximum of 13,700 damage, and they are detected at 1.3 kilometers away from your target. They also do 64 knots, so not bad. These torpedoes are starting to show that they're actually decent. The only downside is their range. AA defense. 20mm flak 38s, you got 4 of those doing 12 damage per second, reaching out to 2 kilometers. Then you have the 37mm flak swilling 30s. You have 8 of those doing 10 damage per second, reaching out to 3.5 kilometers. Then you have the 88mm L76 Doppel C-32s that you have 6 of, doing 24 damage per second and reaching out to 4 kilometers. Maneuverability, 33.8 knots is actually pretty good. 680-meter turning circle, also not horrible. It's a little bit on the slower side for a cruiser, especially low-tier cruisers, but not bad. And a 6.9-second rudder shift time, also not bad. We don't go for maneuverability, remember? Concealment. Detectability by sea is 11.6, detectability by air is 6.9, guaranteed is always 2, and the 5.4 kilometer detectability while firing in smoke. Now let's check out the armor. So first thing you're going to notice, this thing does not get that ridiculous armor that you would love to have. It does have 20mm all the way up to the bow on the belt, so you can get away with a little bit of angling, but don't count on it. Just count on getting absolutely punished by battleships at all times. And even heavy cruisers. We're going to give you a little bit of a look at a heavy cruiser, and I go full broadside to the guy because I know that if I go full broadside, I actually have a better chance than if I sit bow in, because he can citadel me through the front either way. But we'll show you that in a minute. Anyway, so, I mean, other than that, you've got 15mm of armor pretty much everywhere. I guess it's 10mm everywhere, so it's even worse. But 10 millimeters shows you can be overmatched by 143 millimeter guns. Okay, so not preferable. Basically, everything in the game can overmatch your bow as long as they don't shoot the belt. If they shoot the belt, it's going to take a lot more to go through your bow. Okay, we get rid of all that. And we take a look at the citadel. You can see it has a very long, interesting shaped citadel. And you got to be careful with this. It is a raised citadel. And Konigsbergs are known to go up almost as much as an Omaha when it comes to being citadel to death. So keep that in mind. These things do get punished. So you got to protect yourself. Alright. Overview. Full circle. Main battery turrets can rotate a full 360 degrees. That's what we talked about. So basically, you'll see in the video when I start engaging things that I go from left to right quite a bit, but the turrets are almost always right where they need to be to continuously engage because of their ability to rotate a full 360 degrees. Extended sonar, the sonar's range or duration is increased, and in this case it is the range. The German sonar is fantastic, reaching out to 5.1 kilometers. Sparkless, below average chance for HE shells to cause fire. But, honestly, it's not that big a deal. Konigsberg, a light cruiser with artillery and torpedo armament that was quite powerful for her size. Konigsberg was the first among German cruisers to be equipped with aircraft handling equipment. One of her key features was the unconventional arrangement of her aft main turrets. She entered service in 1929, and there were 3 of them in the series. That was the other thing I was going to mention. This thing looks like it was built by me in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Look at this thing. It's got offset turrets. It's very interesting. I wonder how they balanced the ship for that. You know what I'm saying? It is a very interesting layout. I'm not going to lie. But those 360-degree rotating turrets are fantastic to have on your ship. And you can see the catapult right in the middle of the ship for the fighter. All right, so let's take a look at this thing, shall we? Also, this is a very, very poor design. You could tell early on a lot of countries did this where they placed the catapult mid-ship because it's a lot of weight. You want to keep it kind of centralized. But then, I mean, they realized pretty quickly getting into battle, like, you got all the fuel for the planes right there. You've got the catapult, the plane itself. Like, if that stuff gets damaged at the middle of the ship, it sets fires that are very, very bad for the ship. So that's why later in the war, you start seeing a lot of these ships coming out with the catapults at the rear of the ship. Get all of that fuel, all the plane, all that to the back of the ship. So if there is a fire, it can be relatively easily contained. It's not going to damage the superstructure or anything like that. So big changes come later in the, as things go on. These central mounted catapults turned out to be a disaster for most countries. But let's take a look at her. I mean, she's a good-looking ship. I don't care what anybody says. The fact you only get one gun over the front isn't the greatest, I'll be honest. But the rear firing angles of these things are fantastic. Fantastic. So keep that in mind. These things do have very good firing angles, and you can do quite a bit of damage with these, especially when people are dumb enough to give you a broadside at close-ranging cruisers, as we will showcase in this game. But I don't have anything bad to ever say about the Konigsberg. This thing is an absolute monster at its tier. It is a certified Kraken printer. I don't care who's in this ship. You can do amazing things. And with that being said, let's look at the gameplay. Alrighty, so we are going to be on Big Race. And I am going to go full Super Saiyan on these poor, unsuspecting seals. Like, this is why I don't usually come down to low tiers. Like, playing low tiers for me, yes, can it be fun? Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing like raffle stomping an entire lobby. But this game is going to showcase why it's just mean. Okay, when I get into an Omaha, when I get into a Konigsberg, it is just devastating for the enemy team. Very rarely does it end poorly for me. These ships are just so good, and there's nothing that you, like, if you have any idea of what you're doing, these ships just absolutely dominate. Battleships don't stand a chance. Destroyers don't stand a chance. Cruisers do stupid things in front of you and get removed swiftly with no hesitation. And so we're going to push forward. We're going to go to the left. This is an epicenter match, but it's kind of a... Epicenter on this map is kind of a back seat. Okay, you don't necessarily need to go super crazy to go into the cap. Yes, it's a good idea, and fortunately for me, my team is going to try to secure the cap, and they're going to get away with it for a little while. And we're going to try to swing left, get out ahead, get the flank, because there are some amazing crossfire opportunities on this map for a cruiser to take advantage of, and boy, are we going to take advantage of them. We are going to 100% put these guys in the slap chop and just slap them around a little bit. These guys got no chance. They have no chance. They never even had their car, okay? They just straight up get slaughtered by me. I don't want to spoil it too much, but, you know, it doesn't happen that often that you get games like this where everything works out in your favor. Like, literally everything. The Acasta shows himself early on, letting me know exactly where he's at. He smokes up because my destroyer's out here shooting at him. And what did we already say we have, guys? Oh yeah, that's right. We have a long-range sonar, meaning we can detect this man in his smoke and get the drop on him, and he won't even be able to spot us initially. So that's the goal. We're going to push up in here. You can see I want to shoot at the Furry Taco, but I don't want to let this destroyer know I'm here. I know I'm close enough that if I fire my guns, he's going to see me. And sure enough, there he's detected. We go ahead, unload on him. Don't get the best hit right off the bat. That was pretty awful. But as soon as he starts to open up, like you can see, I'm already dropping torps just in case. But as soon as he gives me anything to shoot at, his entire ship is going to get ripped apart. Like, you cannot fight this thing's rate of fire in a destroyer. You just can't. You're not going to win. And you can see he tries to hold on to the torpedoes. In his credit, this guy's probably not the worst destroyer player in the planet. He does try to make an effort to wait until I slow down, and that way he can get a much better shot on me with torps. But as you can see, anticipating the torps, I'm able to easily dodge those. And while it was close, we get away with it. Now, this Furry Taco is actually dangerous. Why is he dangerous? He's one of the few people at Tier 4 that actually get 203mm guns. Now, we already know that this guy can overmatch us because 143mm guns can overmatch us, and he has 203. Now, Danae out here broadside on. Of course, that's going to be a Citadel. He's lucky to not just be dev struck right there, but it is what it is. Now, here we get a much better look at this Furry Taco giving it to us, and we touch him for one Citadel. He's going to touch us back. He actually loads AP, showcasing he knows what he's doing. But unfortunately for him, the rate of fire just cannot be matched by him. That is the one downside of low-tier 8-inch guns. Like, you just don't have the rate of fire. And these light cruisers, if you give them a broadside, they will remove you very quickly. Now, obviously, we've got a Danae. We're going to go ahead and switch back over. You can see I'm switching back to the right side. Just trying to use the island cover as best I can. Lob the island, see if we can't get him. You can see we have touched the Danae. He does not want to fight us anymore. He realizes he's in a bad way. Okay, Danae is very, very squishy. If there's anything in this game that gets dev struck more than an Omaha, it is a Danae. Danaes are notorious for being citadeled from everywhere. This first shot of auto aim was awful, so don't pay any attention to that. But from here on, we're gonna just start riddling these battleships with HE, and there's nothing they can do about it. They can't even see me because I'm using the island as cover. You notice that my team has secured the middle of the epicenter and are capping the other zones. The battleship is actually in the outside zone, which is keeping it from being capped, which is what ends up actually helping us do as well as we did in this match, because what starts off as a raffle stomp ends up very, very close. My team did everything in their power to throw this match, and some could probably argue that I helped in that, but at the same time, I was just playing the long game, okay? I know it's an epicenter, but you don't have to just YOLO in and die. Alright, sometimes you gotta play the long game. And with battleships set up in a crossfire, you can see I've got the Kaiser here, I've got the Peter Veliki over on my left, I've got a third battleship off to my right, which turns out to be a New York. And with all of these battleships just waiting for a helpless cruiser to come around the corner, you don't want that. So use the island cover that the game gives you, keep yourself out of trouble, and absolutely punish these guys. And use your planes to your advantage as well. You can see that when I needed to spot guys, I throw up my fighter plane and I can actually spot, especially battleships. Battleships get spotted from so unbelievably far away that it's actually insane. Now, Kaiser's trying to run. He's got a fire burning on him. We're doing pretty well there. he goes broadside. We're going to switch over to the AP and see if we can't touch him there. And yeah, we're gonna get a little bit of a hit. He's going to take a torpedo, I believe, here. There it goes. And we're going to be able to finish him off with that salvo there. Now, my destroyer's starting to feel some type of way about this Dene that's pushing out on him. First of all, if you're worried about him, quit firing your guns. It's that simple. You're in a destroyer. That's a cruiser. Don't fire your guns at him. But he keeps shooting at him, and he's requesting support, and I am setting up an absolute ambush to end all ambushes on this Dene. He clearly has no idea I exist, and he comes around the corner full broadside, and we reach through and punish him. Only getting 2 citadels, though, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't matter because, again, you can't beat the reload time of these light cruisers, man. You just can't. If you're caught broadside to these things, they will remove you with haste. If for those Minecraft players out there, it'll be haste 5, okay? Just straight up. But we are now in a position, as you can see, we have the New York here. We're going to get detected, and at first I was like, what is spotting me? And then I realized they still have 2 destroyers out here. So one of their destroyers is in the gap between the island and my battleship or my cruiser over there, off in that direction. And he's actually spotting me. So I've got to try to keep myself from being detected, so I pull forward a little bit further, and we're just going to try to burn this man down. It's a naked New York. And, yeah, I kind of make a few mistakes here by not paying attention to how much I reverse or go forward, and I'm trying to find that spot where I can stay undetected and fire at this man. He's shooting at my battleship, which is perfect for me, because if he shot me, I'd be dead. But, yeah, I'm glad he shoots the battleship here. We're at 82,000 damage, guys. We have absolutely controlled this match, and we're not done yet. We're a long ways from done. New York is sailing straight in. He's about to go full Pirates of the Caribbean with our battleship. Those secondaries are going to start popping off at any time from both of these guys. Like, it's going to get interesting for these fellas. But we get a fire finally, and that's going to be a perma-fire after we'd already set the one fire earlier. And we're just going to continue to hit this man with HE. Now, I do try to use some AP when I get broadside battleships, but I've noticed that lower tiers, it doesn't seem to do as well. It tend to get a lot of shatters with the AP at lower tiers. Now, as you get higher tier, the AP on this against battleships will rip battleships apart. But these lower tiers tend to have a little bit weaker AP in terms of AP on battleships. But you can see, we are still chunking him. We've got the perma-fire burning. We're almost ready to cross 100,000 damage. And you can see, we're going to pound this guy into oblivion. And unfortunately, we're going to lose our battleship in the process. He gets torpedoed by the Jean-Wei. And our fire's doing really, really well. And we're going to be able to finish this guy off real quick here with the fire damage. And down he goes, giving us our quacking. But we're not done yet, guys. We had 108,000 damage. There's still a very healthy battleship out here and 2 destroyers. And we have 1 destroyer and a battleship, and that's it. Now, again, I know this battleship will ruin my day if I decide to give them, you know, a chance. Now, I know the Russians are very, very vulnerable broadside to everything. Even cruisers can citadel these things. So I do try, and I'm aiming a little higher because I know I'm a light cruiser. I'm aiming a little higher, but you'll see that I just don't get the damage that I was looking for. I'm shattering, I'm bouncing, so I'm going to end up switching over to HE for a chance, because my AP's just shattering. Like, I thought he was giving us a flat enough broadside that I'd be able to go through that. But he ends up killing our destroyer, and the battleship now is requesting support, and I am trying to give him support. I am firing at him. But fortunately, our destroyer, before he dies, gets some torpedoes off. He manages to finish that guy off. Now, that leaves 2 destroyers versus a battleship and a light cruiser. Now, I know that this is a game. Like, this is win. Like, there's no way we lose this match. We have a 350-point advantage, or 380-point advantage in terms of score. So it's going to give me plenty of time to get into the cap and contest, and these 2 destroyers cannot kill me. They are just not going to, it's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. As soon as they're detected, I'm going to murder both of them. There's nothing that they can do about it. But the battleship, on the other hand, he's in a world of hurt. And he makes the wrong play here. He should have just threw that thing in reverse, got around that island, played a little bit of peekaboo, and just saved himself, because I already told him I'm on my way. And you can see Jean-Wei gets himself a high caliber. That man has done everything in his power to win this battle for his team. I don't know how much he ends up with, But he's got a high cal. We've got a high cal. We've got First Blood, high cal, Kraken Unleashed, Dev Strike. We've done all the things. And there's a Confederate medal to add to our medals. All right? These light cruisers at low tiers are just absolutely dominant. But unfortunately, Subra rushes in, realizes he's in trouble, drops the torpedoes, and he's going to find his mark. And down goes the enemy, or the friendly battleship. But we do manage to take out... I say down goes, well, now down goes the friendly battleship. But we managed to take out that guy, giving us our 6-pack. But don't worry, guys, there's one more destroyer left. Now, this destroyer knows that I have the advantage in this situation. There's nothing he can do about it. I'm charging straight in. His only hope is to get out of that smoke screen and spot me and try to hit me with torpedoes. And, I mean, good on him for almost catching me. Like, these torpedoes were actually kind of scary. And the reason being is they weren't launched at me. Like, now he sees me, he's in trouble, he's broadside, there's nothing he can do here. First shot out from the front and the rear gun, and the third gun comes in to finish him off that quickly. Giving us our 7th kill of the game. 9 people entered on the enemy team, and I killed 7 of them. And it's not like I was kill stealing, because I ended up with 117,000 damage. Confederate, First Blood, Kraken Unleashed, High Caliber, Dev Strike, top of the leaderboard, almost 3,000 base XP in a tier 4. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.